with as many people as they like. Instead of editors getting paid a set rate regardless of how the content performs, we're now taking a page out of the traditional media book in back-end points, which means that talent is going to get a percentage of the royalties if the film does well. But now, because of Stir, the same is true in the YouTube space. Top creator-editor duos are already using Stir, like Ryan Trahan with his editor Zach Levitt, and Arak with his editor Mac. You can set up automatic splits for your whole channel or just for particular videos. It takes less than a minute to set up, and with Stir, your team gets paid at the exact same time with total transparency. So hit the link in the description to join the platform where creators earn together. Thank you, Stir, for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the conversation.
What are the best business practices in terms of finances, in terms of hours, in terms of contractual obligations that traditional media does do that we can use as an anchor of inspiration towards the next stage in the maturity of web content?
I'm not super educated on this. I'm not in the union. I don't know. But we did pull up a few numbers. This is what the union says. This is what IATSE says. These are 2021 IATSE numbers.
Hold on, but what's IATSE?
So IATSE is the film union, essentially.
Yeah.
And so there's the Motion Pictures Editors Guild. The rate for a high-budget new media editor, so that's like Netflix, Hulu, a lot of streaming services, the rate is $3,783 a week, which breaks down to $756.60 per day. They have rules in place under the union to protect workers, to protect people from working strenuous hours. They do have overtime if you work more than 5 days. So if you're on the 6th day, it's time and a half. And then if you're on the 7th day, it's double time.
Ooh. So they actually also respect the Monday to Friday rule.
Exactly.
And then if you're going into the weekends, that means extra pay as well.
Exactly.
This actually makes me realize, I think, one of the biggest issues, I think, for creators looking for those quality editors. They're not providing the proper value that will attract those proper editors.
Right.
There was this really fascinating lesson that I had with Logan when he was looking to buy a property in like the Palm Springs area.
Okay.
There's a ranch that he found for $1.1 million. And what happened to them was the realtor revealed that originally the ranch was valued at $900,000, and then that was bringing in those types of people who were kind of sort of had the money but sort of didn't.
Okay.
Like taking out the mortgages and whatnot. But then literally the week that he then priced it up to $1.1 million, the pool of people who were available to buy that house in cash were instantly available. That was my realization for me of, depending on the money that you advertise up front will immediately attract different types of people.
That's exactly right.
And so if you are pricing your public, hey, I want to hire someone that's going to be X amount of money, that's going to give you a specific amount of people who will apply towards that job. But if you were to then advertise your job saying, hey, I want you to be a full-time editor and it's going to mean this amount, that's going to bring in those editors who are actually going to take this job opportunity a lot more seriously or are able to provide that value even better. Absolutely. Depending on the price that you advertise will attract different types of people.
The statement rings true, especially in this field, is that you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay the high ticket price, like, you're going to get a freaking amazing editor. But that's the thing. People are always looking at their margins. They're like, okay, where can I save? Where can I save? Can I spend more on the next video? And how can I get an editor that will do a decent job but not absolutely kill it? Or they're trying to find those young guys that are super talented that are just trying to get their foot in the door. And that's what everybody is looking for. And I was that guy.
Yeah.
And so, but then I realized real quick, I was like, okay, I'm giving y'all a great deal.
The promise of, hey, we're like, especially in the story, hey, I'm going to make it big. And so the promise of success can never always be true.
No. Take it that they're not going to make it big.
And do not use the promise of success to be the reason why you commit.
Yep.
Unless you genuinely look at him and says, yeah, I can see why this will blow up. Because that's the gamble that I did take. No, it's actually not the gamble I took with Logan. When I first got the job with him, I was in between jobs because I just got fired and I went, all right, I guess I'll work with this guy for a couple months because I did need the money a little bit. And I thought, I'll just do this until I find another job. So I was applying for other jobs. And it was only 6 months in when he got like 1 million subscribers within like a couple months. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I've seen the momentum here. But while I was doing that, I was still looking for other work with the assumption of I'm going to jump ship as soon as I can.
Can I ask how much you charged when you started working with him?
This was in 2017. So inflation and prices have changed a lot since then.
Yep.
So I initially started with Logan of what would have been £50,000 a year.
How does that translate to US dollars?
At that time, that will probably be 60 to maybe 65, maybe 70 a year in dollars. When it then got to me living independently or living independently, I did have a very good conversation with Logan, like, hey, I'm looking to move independently, so I would like a raise, and I don't want to tell you how much that was, but he went, yeah, of course, because I'd already proven my value in that time. Yeah. And he went, okay, fine, off you go. Like, that is I'm more than happy to give you that value. And so maybe even over time, what it really should be is every 6 months or every once to a year, that discussion should be, hey, you've grown, I should grow with you.
Right.
Rather than being at a set rate.
Right.
Especially if an editor has committed to you for a significant amount of time, because you now have the experience to consistently provide the value that they are now expecting.
That's an interesting conversation that I haven't had to have, because I've constantly been working with different production companies, different people. I'm just on a job-to-job basis with people. So I can